Boom. Full contact. Jumping in. Ooh. Oh, no leg crunch. Hey! And a flat intro. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jade Monkey. We're back here in Rust, talking about the Rust Console Edition for the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One. Yes. And we're answering the question today, why the tech tree is so important for solo players especially, duos, trios, and even Zergs. So as you know, maybe you do, maybe you don't, the Rust Console Edition, we are awaiting the staging branch, and it looks like as of recording this midway through September 2021, we're looking at a staging branch possibly coming out at the end of this month. We'll have to wait and see. There's no official word, but as you can see here, testing branch and the skin store should be at the same time. And one of the first things we will be testing is going to be, well, according to the devlog, is the tech tree. So here's why this is so important. So how many times have you been a solo player especially, and you're out there going, man, I've done so well this way, but there's a couple things I'm missing. Things like, I don't know, rockets, the explosives, the C4, even the rockets themselves. I should say rocket tube, right? And how many times you have one but not the other? All three but not the explosives. And it can really, really hinder your progress or your ability to do some higher end raids. So right now, as it stands for Rust Console Edition, there are two major ways to do research. And maybe one way obviously one way you're familiar with, but maybe the other way you're not. So everything still stands. With the tech tree coming out, we will still be able to sacrifice the item with the proper amount of scrap, and then hit the research and get a blueprint. That will always be a thing, even when tech tree comes out, and that's currently how we do it. In our version of Rust Console Edition right now, you go here, instead of it saying tech tree, it says experiment. Level 1 is 75, level 2 is 500, and level 3 is 1000. So what you do is, if you have that amount of scrap, you stick it in the workbench, you pull the trigger on it, and it'll roll the dice on the blueprints that you do not have for that particular tier. So that is probably the way that most people don't really use or even know about. But here's how it's going to change for us, okay? Well, especially solo players, right? So you get in there and you're like, man, I really need, I don't know, satchels. You could go all the way down this line here, right? This giant tech tree. And as long as you have each stop along the way, you can unlock, well, we should start from the top, right? You can get all the way down to the satchels if you cannot find them for the life of you. But you see how on the right-hand side, you can get that exact blueprint for that amount of scrap? 75, 125, so on and so forth. So what this means is usually a lot of important things are deeper into the tree. And if you do have things like bean cans or satchels, it would make more sense. Let's say you don't have a lot of this branch here, right, all the way down. It would make more sense for you to take those satchels and probably just take them and put them on the bench, but not for everything. It's a huge, huge change. So here's one that I think is going to make most people happy. So the level 3 workbench, if you look at the tech tree itself, obviously you're not going to have the car parts yet because that's not in the game for us. But I mean, look how close the armored doors are to the top. That's sick, right? That's totally sick. That's huge. That's massive. So check this out. Okay, so if you go upstairs, there's a couple other things too that'll shift around when the tech tree does come in. If it is to take on the PC version, right? So again, you've got the garage doors and the scrap. You've got the armored doors. Where was it? Is it up here? Is it up here? So check this out. Things are going to shift around a bit. So as it stands now, when we do research in our version of Rust Console Edition, the rockets are 750, tier 3. This is a tier 3, right? 750. Well, look now, in these columns from top to bottom, those are going to be the new categories they sit in. Look at this. Most of these are level 2, right? Look at this. Rocket, level 2. It's only 500. Look at explosives, obviously on level 3, but that one's only 500. So things shift around a bit, and are you ready for this? This is massive. This is massive. So the garage door that we all know and love is going to go from level 1 to a level 2 workbench. Yes. So no, gone are the days going to the outpost and crafting your favorite garage doors. So you're going to have to really work at getting that level 2 workbench. But as it stands now, we do have the ability to pick up workbenches. And if you pop into a server that's been going for a little bit, a lot of times you can hit the map button and find a player store. And a lot of times they take those level 2s out of a rated base, and they'll be selling them for scrap or for sulfur. It just depends. So be on the lookout for that. You can do that, but yeah, you'll no longer be able to craft the garage doors on a level 1 workbench. It's going to shift to a level 2. Pretty crazy, right? And I'll show you in the tech tree here. This is one you'll be in quite often. So scroll back a little bit, obviously the horseshoes. But look at this. Another thing is you got the hazmat suit, but you've got the road sign kit that'll be sitting right here, which is quite nice. And then even the med pens are sitting all the way up here at 75 Scrappy Poo. So you can see that getting right to these immediately is probably more advantageous. I'm going to try to leave it big and then I'll scroll through. But look, the garage door is down here for 75. Then you got to do the strengthened glass window. It's slightly changed, but it's the same one, you know. You got the embrasures, the salvage pick and axe, and then you have the salvage sword. So it's not too bad. Look at that, 75, 125, 125. These are expensive. By the way, these went down. These used to be 250, now they're 125. Pretty hot. All right, and then the garage door. Shouldn't be a problem. But if you look all the way down, some of the better weapons that you would want, like the Timmy, the SAR, or even the rocket itself. See how far down that is in the tree? So again, if you find it first, it makes more sense for you to actually learn those. Torpedoes we don't have yet. But isn't that cool, though? You can just go through and find all the different pieces that you need. So how big is that for a solo player? Like, how many times you've been sitting there playing going, man, I'm doing great, but there's a giant Zerg sitting outside of the launch site, and I have a hard time doing it, and they seem to always be there. And I work, and so the time when I'm playing, most of the time those teabags are out there just either snaking me, or I'm waiting for the respawn. So this is going to change a lot of things. I think it's going to make a lot more of the game accessible to everyone, especially the solo players, because I know Zergs are annoying for sure. It's definitely a part of this game, but yeah, it sucks when you're a small guy and you're just getting picked on constantly. So again, if you find these useful and helpful, be sure to drop a like. If you think this is something you would like in the future, be sure to drop a subscribe and turn on notifications. And I'm going to show you here from top to bottom, these are some of the changes that are coming in for rockets, rocket tubes, explosives, so you guys can kind of soak that in. And yeah, hopefully we'll see you guys in the next video / live stream. You know what I mean? Woo! Those are the changes there. And then I think, do I have the changes over here? I think those are the ones where I have the cost on there. I think that's all of it. Yeah, it's just showing you the different blueprints. Okay, so yeah, that's it. We're out of here this time. And we should be doing this over on Official as we normally do. We do main on Rust Console. Occasionally we'll come over to the PC to check things out. But for the most part, we'll be out here just doing it up on Rust Console Edition. So, you know, stop by, say hi, and be like, what's up? You're a teabag. And I'll be like, sweet. Oh, I'm falling off the top. There we go. Yes. Okay. Bye.